Jack Torrance is a writer who is struggling in his life. He hasn't had much success, and this makes him frustrated and angry at times. He lives with his wife Wendy and their young son Danny. Jack wants a fresh start, so he applies for a job. He gets an interview at the Overlook Hotel, a large hotel located deep in the mountains. During winter, the hotel closes because heavy snow blocks all roads. Someone has to stay there as a caretaker, and Jack gets the job. During the interview, the manager warns Jack about a disturbing past event. A previous caretaker lost his mind, killed his entire family, and then killed himself. Jack doesn't take it seriously. He believes he can handle the isolation and thinks it will give him time to focus on writing. Meanwhile, Danny is not an ordinary child. He has a special ability called shining. This means he can see things others cannot. Visions of the future, past, and even spirits. Sometimes he talks to an imaginary friend inside his mind. Before winter begins, Danny meets the hotel cook, Dick Halloran. Halloran realizes Danny has the same ability. He explains what shining is and warns him that the hotel has a dark presence. He specifically tells Danny to stay away from room 237. Soon, the family moves into the hotel. At first, everything seems peaceful. Jack starts working on his writing. Wendy takes care of the house, and Danny rides his tricycle through the long, empty hallways, but after a few days, strange things begin to happen. Danny starts seeing terrifying visions. While riding his tricycle, he sees two twin girls standing in the hallway. They quietly say, "Come play with us." Then suddenly, he sees flashes of blood pouring out of an elevator. The visions are so real that they deeply frighten him. At the same time, Jack begins to change. He becomes more irritated and distant. His writing is not going well at all. He spends hours at his typewriter, but produces nothing. This makes him more frustrated, and his behavior becomes unstable. One day, Jack walks into the hotel bar and sees a bartender named Lloyd. This is strange because the hotel is empty. Still, Jack talks to him and even orders a drink, as if everything is normal. From this moment, Jack starts losing touch with reality. He begins to behave as if the hotel is alive and full of people. Meanwhile, Danny's visions get worse. One day, Wendy notices marks on Danny's neck, like someone has hurt him. Danny is terrified and cannot explain what happened. Wendy suspects Jack. She confronts him, but Jack denies everything. He says he didn't do anything, and he truly seems confused. This increases the tension between them. Later, Jack decides to enter room 237, the place everyone warned about. Inside, he sees a beautiful young woman in the bathtub. She slowly walks toward him, and he kisses her. But suddenly, she transforms into a decaying, horrifying old corpse. Jack is shocked and runs out of the room in fear. When Wendy asks him what happened, he lies and says there was nothing inside. At this point, it becomes clear that Jack is mentally breaking down and the hotel is affecting him. Soon after, Jack meets a man named Delbert Grady, the same caretaker who killed his family. Grady speaks calmly and tells Jack that his own family needs to be corrected. He suggests that Wendy and Danny are the problem. This pushes Jack completely over the edge. Now he begins to see his family as enemies. One day, Wendy looks at Jack's writing papers. She thinks he has finally written something. But when she reads them, she is shocked. Every single page has the same sentence repeated again and again. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. There are hundreds of pages all the same. Wendy realizes that Jack has lost his mind. She tries to stop him, but Jack suddenly becomes violent. He chases her, but Wendy manages to defend herself. She hits him with a baseball bat, knocking him unconscious. Then she drags him into a pantry and locks him inside. But the horror is not over. Inside the pantry, Jack hears the voice of Grady again. Grady tells him he will help him. After some time, the pantry door mysteriously unlocks, and Jack is free. Now Jack is completely dangerous. He grabs an axe and starts hunting Wendy and Danny through the hotel. Wendy stands frozen in fear as she realizes that the pantry door has opened. Her heart starts racing because she knows Jack is now free. This is no longer just anger or frustration. Jack has completely lost control of his mind. At the same time, Danny feels the danger growing stronger. He is terrified, but he remembers what Dick Halloran told him about the shining. Using his special ability, Danny sends a silent cry for help across a long distance. It's not like speaking. It's more like a strong feeling or message sent through the mind. Far away, Halloran suddenly senses Danny's fear. He sees flashes of danger and understands that something is terribly wrong at the Overlook Hotel. Without wasting a second, he decides to go back to the hotel, even though it means traveling through dangerous snowstorms. Jack keeps hitting the door again and again until a hole appears. Then suddenly, he pushes his face through the broken wood, smiling in a creepy, insane way. His eyes are wild, and his voice is filled with madness as he shouts. Wendy backs away in terror. While Jack is busy breaking the door, Danny notices a small window in the bathroom. It's the only way out. Wendy quickly helps him climb through it. Danny squeezes out into the freezing cold outside. Now Wendy is alone inside with Jack. Jack continues trying to break in, but Wendy manages to escape the bathroom just in time. She runs through the hotel, her breathing heavy, her mind full of fear. As she moves through the corridors, she begins to see strange and horrifying things, ghosts, shadows, and disturbing images. It becomes clear that the hotel is filled with something evil, something that has been there for a very long time. Meanwhile, Halloran finally reaches the hotel. After a long and difficult journey through the snow, he arrives and enters the building, calling out for Danny. But the moment he steps inside, everything goes wrong. Jack suddenly appears from the shadows. Without warning, he attacks Halloran with the axe. There is no time to escape, no time to fight back. Halloran is killed instantly. Now, there is no help coming. Danny, who is outside, runs toward a large hedge maze near the hotel. He knows he has to hide. The snow is falling heavily, and the cold air makes it hard to breathe. Behind him, Jack follows. Jack enters the maze, slowly walking through it, calling Danny's name. His voice echoes through the maze, making it even more frightening. The maze is confusing, full of twists and turns. Snow covers the ground, and visibility is low. Danny keeps running, his small footsteps leaving a clear trail behind him. Then he realizes something important. If he keeps running forward, Jack will easily follow his footprints and catch him. So Danny stops. He takes a deep breath and carefully starts walking backward, stepping exactly into his own footprints. Then, at the right moment, he quickly changes direction and hides behind a wall of snow. Jack doesn't notice. He continues following the footprints, thinking he is getting closer to Danny. But he is actually going the wrong way. Danny quietly escapes the maze and runs back toward the hotel entrance. At the same time, Wendy is still inside, trying to survive. She moves through different rooms, trying to find a way out. Suddenly, she finds Halloran's body lying on the floor. The sight shocks her completely. She realizes that their only chance of rescue is gone, but she cannot stop. She must keep going for Danny. Soon, Danny reaches the front of the hotel and finds Wendy. They both run toward the snowcat, the vehicle Halloran used to arrive. Wendy quickly starts the engine. Her hands are shaking, but she manages to get it running. They don't wait. They drive away from the hotel, escaping into the snowy night. Meanwhile, Jack is still inside the maze. He keeps walking, searching, calling out. But now the cold is becoming too strong. The temperature is dropping fast, and his body begins to weaken. His movements slow down. His breathing becomes heavy. But his madness doesn't stop. Even as he struggles, he keeps trying to find Danny. Eventually, his body gives up. He collapses in the snow. The freezing cold takes over, and Jack dies there, alone in the maze. The storm continues, covering everything in silence. Wendy and Danny are finally safe. In the final scene, we see a photograph hanging inside the hotel. It shows a party from many years ago, dated 1921. People are smiling, celebrating, enjoying the night. And in the center of that photo is Jack Torrance, standing there, smiling, as if he has always been part of the hotel. This reveals a chilling truth. The hotel is not just a place. It is something alive, something that traps souls and keeps them forever. And Jack never really left. The evil of The Shining still remains, waiting quietly for the next person to enter its doors.